9/11 by James Roberts. 'Twas a beautiful day, one morning in the middle of September, on 11th September 2001, when nothing was going wrong and everything was fine in New York City. All of the people in the city and across the nation were all going about their business. But I remember what happened so vividly and so ominously, that even though I was only a little child of 8 years old, to say the least, I could still remember the horror. People were going about their own business in NYC, and at 8 a.m. the plane was flying a little too low and crashed into the middle of one of the Twin Towers and caused a major gaping hole in the building, and the plane fell apart, crashing to the ground and killing all of the passengers within. People everywhere in the nation watched in horror as the TV screen portrayed the accident that happened only moments ago. The left tower was smoking, and there was a plane head still stuck in it, and no one realized that Al-Qaeda had made their plans. A half-hour later, a second plane came into view, and it crashed into the left tower, and this time, the tower collapsed, and the towers fell down, spreading debris and rubble. The towers collapsed, and many people got caught in the trap, and they were crushed by the debris or incinerated by the explosion, and their lives were taken instantaneously. Some of the victims tried to jump, but their fall came to no avail, and they eventually lost their lives just because of the crash. Emergency units were sent out by the city of New York, and they were sent out to rescue the victims. But some of the rescues came to no avail. Some of the firemen were engulfed in the flames, and some fell beneath debris, and others lost their lives because of the heat, and yet they kept pushing onward. Some of the victims were rescued, but they kept going on into the night, and they did not stop until they found everyone, whether they be alive, barely living, or dead altogether. By this time, everyone knew that something was wrong, for it was no accident that happened, for there was plotting behind it, and there was terrorism involved. They tried to figure out who the terrorists were, and who they could possibly be, and what they could possibly want. They were not any communist terrorists, for they would want money. So they figured out it was Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda who did this dreaded thing. And then at 9 a.m., another plane was flying to Pennsylvania and was headed for D.C., but a man stopped the pilot and overtook him, took the plane, and crashed it, taking his own life and the passengers on board instead of killing more people. At 10 a.m., another plane was headed for D.C., and when it arrived, it crashed into the Pentagon, taking away some of the office buildings and killing some of the military within. With this, the destruction ended, for bin Laden did his damage, and then President Bush delivered a speech in front of an angry American people. He said that he would start the war on terror. He would invade Afghanistan, and he would find bin Laden and the terrorists, and would win the war. The Bush Doctrine began, and it was preemptive strike. And the war on terror began, and we went to Iraq and Afghanistan. We found bin Laden in Afghanistan, but he fled the scene. But we went to Iraq, searching for nuclear weapons, to overthrew Saddam Hussein, and started to restructure Iraq. France became mad at us, and thought we were idiots, and we started calling foods Freedom Fries, although they're chips, Freedom Toast, and everything else. The Arabs did not like us either, for they thought we were hotheads. Great Britain, our ally since World War I, fought alongside us for the longest time. The war lasted 10 years, till they finally found bin Laden, and they killed him on the 2nd of May, 2011. When President Barack Obama was in office, and nearing his last term, bin Laden met his fate. The Arab Spring has begun, and the Middle East is in revolution, and everything is won. 9/11 will always live in our hearts, and we will not forget it, for it is part of our history. We will always remember those who gave their lives to our country. Peace be with us, and then we always remember 9/11.